Salutations. Happy holidays. I hope this finds you well. Couple things. One thing is I will be speaking at a conference that will be hosted by Journey to Truth, Tyler Koala and Aaron Kuhn, that will be in Grafton, Illinois on May 22nd to the 25th. Very honored to be there, to be invited there. I didn't know how many more conferences I was going to do, but I think it's going to be a really nice one. So I'll be looking forward to that and honored to be a part of that. Come if you can, try to attend. It's a good place to meet people, like-minded people, and that's kind of what those conferences are good to really interact. I like interacting with the attendees because most of them are more gifted than those of us that are presenting. So anyway, going forward, I wanted to address a certain topic here, and this topic is different and out of the realm of what I normally talk about, but it's come up and it's just interesting. It's something I've been hearing for years, but then I just heard it recently mentioned again, and this is the weaponizing of portals. And once we get past the point that yes, portals exist, all right, they exist, they come cubical, they come spherical, and I found this just a fascinating concept of actually how these portals are being weaponized. So I had my friend Jessica Jones do a remote view of this. I gave her a couple of targets, and what I will do is I'll give her these targets and she doesn't know what they are. And this one came out very interesting, the data that she actually got from this. And it wasn't, as much to see if the portals are real, which I know, but is the weaponizing that they're trying to do of them real? And she came with the data she has is pretty much yes. And things that she had down that was like mass coronal ejection. And those are things that are coming along with these portals. That's dealing with high energy plasma, yet again. How this high energy plasma keeps coming up, whether it's crop circles or the other things we've been talking about. And I think that some of the weaponizing of these wormholes, these makos, these portals, which can be like makos on these small black holes, I've talked about how they can be large or even on the microscopic level as well to our individual cells. So this is taking this stuff to a whole another level. But I think what we're seeing here is the weaponizing of not just these portals, but with the things she kept getting about the sun. Okay, it implies that there's forces trying to weaponize the sun, which I believe would be the black spots, the dark spots we see, the cold spots. I believe those are portals. You can see on the Soho website how some of these craft are going in and out of the sun. If you can look that up, probably on YouTube. I'm sure some people still have that down. Certain footage on the Soho, you can look that up. But looking at how they're weaponizing the sun, and one of the things I think they could be doing to try to do this is this infamous solar simulator. I've done a video on that as well. You can go back and look on the channel and check that out. But this solar simulator, I did a video over that because so many people claim that there's a sect of people that say the sun is not real and that it's fake, it's man-made or something like that. And they have these pictures of it with a spot on it. And they're saying that really it's the solar simulator that we're seeing that's lighting up our planet. Okay, sorry, I do not believe that. But I do believe the solar simulator is real. There's a patent for it. And you can see it on certain things, like even the original Star Trek movie, the first one, when the Enterprise is sitting in the docking bay. You see it's lit up by these things, look like these octagon-shaped, it looks like the solar simulator. So could they be using something like that to try to trap the portals of the sun? And that takes us into something else about the sun. I've done a video on what's called diffusion regions, electron diffusion regions, which are where you have the magnetic fields of the sun and the magnetic fields of the earth meet. It creates these portals, these doorways. That's like scientifically they've done some study on that. So that I think is two things and another way that they could be trying to do this. The next step is how would they go about weaponizing one of these portals? Things come to mind, I think of a few things. One is like what you saw on DS9, Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. They had that wormhole and they were creating these mines outside of it for the Dominion so they couldn't come through and trying to close it, actually. So I think that's just maybe one possible way. But more what I think we're dealing with is more these electromagnetic pulse weapons, these energy type of weapons, some of the microwave weapons. And I mean, so if we're going to go through that, I mean, the ones that I could spend time talking about and speculating on would be electromagnetic weapons, sound weapons, especially more the electromagnetic scalar wave thing, and how they were using that to supposedly try to shoot UFOs down, that same type of a technology. So that's, I think that may be really a big one there. Electromagnetic pulse weapons, sound weapons, scalar weapons, microwave weapons, and ultrasonic weapons as well. And there's a whole lot has been done with ultrasonics and that nature. So it's the things of what would actually disrupt one of these craft coming through one of these portals that is more of a more of a material vibration like us, or even lower, something like that. As how much would it take for them to actually affect one of these things coming through the portal? And I'll take this and cross-reference this with a personal experience that I've not talked about because it wasn't physical, okay? I was having a deep meditation. This was like, man, 12 years ago, 10 years ago? Yeah, about 10 years ago. Anyway, during this meditation, I encountered this energy that feels very feline. And mind you, until I went to that ranch and had some sort of experience, I've not encountered a feline being physically or anything, right? Still, but this was different. And when I say this energy was feline-like, it felt like when a cat lays up against you and purrs, or you're in the proximity of their purring. It felt like that. And they're giving me information about that they monitor these portals, and that they close some of the micro wormholes, and that they actually use what they were showing me is a white wall, like white light, that is behind the portal itself, behind the black hole itself, the micro wormhole, that stops negatives from coming through, or like in front of it. That's what they kept showing me, these shields, but they can put these white shields or whatever it is, this white type of light in each one of these portals. So that's very interesting. They can't, because they're opening and closing constantly. They're in constant motion of flux. So that's the energy I had got, the information I had got during that encounter. Like I said, it wasn't physical, so I never mentioned it. But nonetheless, when I got to the ranch, they started talking about how the feline beings out there protect the portal. So there you have that kind of synonymous type of deal. Anyway, I think this is something, that's basically what I want to talk about on this, all right? And this is something, again, just to open you up to look into it yourself, and how these weapons, how these actually portals on Earth might be being trying to weaponize, which would be to probably stop light forces from coming through, and also to destroy, I'm sure, people in other countries too. I'm sure it's a multitude type of way they're trying to use this as a weapon. And I think it's kind of it's really dark, and needs to be really, I think, illuminated to a greater degree. So I'm kind of putting this together. I'm going to put this out when Jessica and I are doing actually a show over this, and we're going to talk about this. So I'll put this out with the show so you all can get a double kind of take on it. But it's very interesting because her remote viewing proved that it's real, that they're doing something with these portals, trying to weaponize it. And the drawing she had was actually they're trying to stop things before they even get into the Mako itself. It's like something there. Very interesting, and it's also somewhat terrifying, but that's what we're dealing with here. There's a war going on here. Dark versus light. It's no joke. So please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell on there so you get notified if I put something out. People have had to do it 3 times now. Thank you to the people on Patreon. That's the only reason I'm still here. I wasn't to do these anymore. Thank you. Thanks for friending this PC. Peace, y'all.